Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Boxiest, and today we're going to continue the What If series. What if events had gone differently? And in this What If, we're going to change the history of Cobra Kai. What if Hawk was the Miyagi-Do captain during the events of Cobra Kai Season 6, Part 2? If you haven't seen the previous part, I would recommend you go watch it before continuing this one. So in this timeline, Miguel and Johnny would still leave, but in this timeline, Johnny wouldn't think of getting Kenny to replace Miguel, so those events would carry on. The Miyagi-Do students would still go explore Barcelona, and they would still be at the tapas bar. Robbie and Sam would both be drinking. They would still be upset about Tori. This is when the Cobra Kais would show up, and Sam would still go outside to get some air. Quan would want to mess with Hawk, but unlike Robbie, Hawk wouldn't ignore him, and he would fight back, so Quan and Hawk would start fighting in the bar. Some of the Cobra Kais and Miyagi-Dos would get involved, but Robbie and Tori and a couple of the other dojos would want to stop the fight, and eventually Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do would be kicked out of the tapas bar, and once they were kicked out, Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai would go their separate ways, so that night would be pretty uneventful. Sam would still be walking down the beach, and she would still run into Axel. She would still compliment Axel on his kata, and the interaction between Sam and Axel would stay the same. Eventually, Miguel and Johnny would come back to Barcelona, so the Saikai Taikai would continue. Miyagi-Do would still fight Furia de Pantera. Dimitri would still start off, and he still wouldn't be doing so well. So in this timeline, Dimitri would tag in Hawk. Hawk would continue the fight, and he would get a point, and Hawk would tag in Sam. Sam would continue fighting, and she would still get a point, so Sam would tag in Devin. Devin would continue fighting, but Furia de Pantera would get a point on Devin, so Devin would tag in Miguel, and Miguel would get the final point, so Miyagi-Do would beat Furia de Pantera 3-1 in this timeline. Those events would continue. Miyagi-Do would still have a bit of a break between their matches. Miguel would want to talk to Hawk. He would apologize for how he acted before he left. Miguel would say that he was wrong to suggest that Hawk gave up the captain spot. Hawk would say that it was fine, and he would forgive Miguel, so those events would continue. And during the next team match, Miyagi-Do would fight Redentores. Miguel would start off, and he would tag in Hawk, and Hawk would land the first point, and he would tag in Dimitri. Dimitri would continue the fight, and he would get the second point, and eventually he would tag in Robbie. Robbie would continue to fight, and he would get the final point, so Miyagi-Do beat Redentores in this timeline, and they would still advance in their matches. So Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai wouldn't face off. The Saikai Taikai would continue. Cobra Kai would still fight Tiger Strike, but in this timeline, Cobra Kai would be focused, and they would beat Tiger Strike, so both Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai would make it to the semifinals. Season 6 would continue. The semifinals would begin. Quan and Diego would still fight, but Quan would still defeat him. Zara and Maria would fight, but Zara would still defeat Maria. Axel would be fighting Hawk, and Hawk would want to use offense against Axel, but Axel's defense would be better. Eventually Axel would go on offense, and he would get points against Hawk, so Axel would defeat Hawk in this timeline. Sam and Tori would fight, and they would both use a combination of offense and defense. The match would be close, so in this timeline, Tori would defeat Sam, so she would advance to the finals. Quan and Axel would fight, but Axel would be more defensive in this fight, and he would knock down Quan. Quan would get even more mad, and he would try to go for Axel's head, but Axel would block his attack. Axel would land some points on Quan, and he would defeat him. Zara would fight Tori. Zara would be aggressive, and she would land some points on Tori. Tori would be using a combination of offense and defense. She would manage to land a point on Zara, so Zara would get more aggressive, and she would defeat Tori. So the Iron Dragons would win. Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai would go home with defeat. Sensei Kim and her students would go back to Korea, and Tori would go back to the valley. Even though Miyagi-Do lost, Miyagi-Do would remain open, and Tori would rejoin Miyagi-Do, and things would be peaceful in the valley. And that is where I'm going to end this what if. Thank you guys for watching. What do you guys think would have happened if Hawk was Miyagi-Do's captain during the events of Cobra Kai Season 6? Let me know in the comments below. YouTube lets me know that the majority of you are not subscribed, so if you guys could subscribe, that would be much appreciated. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. And I'll see you guys next time.